You produced Closer, the play. What was the biggest lesson you learned about doing a stage play?
Ooh, wow, I'm not even sure. That was a great experience. It was a really hard experience, mostly because we had so little time. We had tried to get the rights for a couple of other productions, and at the last minute, those were turned down, which is when we went to our backup, which was Closer. To be honest, Closer was the one that I was the most drawn to. I really connected with that material for some reason, so I was quite happy. But honestly, I mean, we had a fraction of the time that we had initially started out with to be able to raise the funds and just get everything in order in time to produce it when we wanted to. So, I mean, I guess certainly a lesson would be to have more time ahead of time for fundraising and things like that. It was interesting we were all friends, so that was great, but it also, I'm sure, could be detrimental at moments because it wasn't as business-like as it normally would be in a production like that and producing.
What surprised you about being a producer? Like, you must have had some sort of notion of what you thought a producer would do. Was there something in doing the play that all of a sudden you went, wow, I didn't know it was going to be this hard or this responsible for this? Or?
I don't think there was a specific duty that I felt that way about, but I definitely think I was surprised. I should not be surprised about this. This is total human nature, but I think I was surprised at how many times you had to go back to check up on, like, you hire someone to do a job, and so you think your part is done. You've hired them, they're going to do their job. And then to realize, I mean, like, we had snafus with, printing the programs and, just all of these outside vendors that we had negotiated with. And just the amount of work that had to be redone and redone and redone, and just following up on other people not doing their jobs. I think I was surprised by that simply because it wasn't a huge production. I mean, this seemed very manageable to me.
Right.
So that's where I was surprised at how much work it was.
Wow. You're right. That is human nature.
Yeah.
Voiceover work. You do a lot of voiceover work. How did you get started?
I'd always kind of been curious, and then I was just introduced to an agency, I can't remember how many years ago, maybe 4 years ago now. And, I don't really do cartoon voices or anything, so I wasn't sure if it would be applicable to me. But it turns out that, there's I shouldn't say very few, but it's limited the amount of people that you need to do like cartoony voices, but they certainly need a plethora of just different types of voices and different characters. And certainly when you're talking about, radio spots or TV spots, you're not needing to do like cartoon voices for anything like that. So it turns out there's tons of work that I'm qualified for. And it unfortunately also turns out that the industry has really changed recently. So it turns out there are now tons of people that are in that loop. So it used to be that there was a core group of actors that were basically in charge of all of the, not in charge of, but that all the jobs went to. And it's completely done a 180 where now everybody does voice work. And so you really have to fight your way through to be noticed and really sort of seal those connections. And, because as with any industry, if you find somebody you like to work with, generally that will generate more jobs. What do you like about doing the voiceovers? Is there like something about that's different than acting that you really enjoy? I mean, the lazy answer is just that it's easier because you can go to work in your pajamas, and I mean, not that that's professional, but it's feasible. Because you don't have to worry physically about what you look like. I mean, the best part about voice acting is that I get to do characters that in a million years I would never get to do on camera because they simply aren't me. I mean, I've played, different ages, different ethnicities, different, just from different regions, and, all the different, just everything is, I've been able to play. And I'll be surprised sometimes, like I'll have that mental block. Well, they will give me some material, and I'll be like, no way. There's no way I can do this. And, it turns out that of course you can, because it's, your physical makeup has nothing whatsoever to do with it. So it's just finding ways to sort of tweak it so that it works. And do they have a director in there with you? So it's a lot like being on set where a director is actually giving you what your motivation is and what you want to do on some of this stuff? Yeah. It's different with every job, but there's always, because sometimes there's a ton of people in the room that are all giving their feedback. The weirdest part about doing voice work, which doesn't always happen, but you're in the sealed voice booth, and then they're in the, the engineering booth recording everything. So they are the ones in charge of pressing the mic so that you can hear them.
Mm-hmm.
So the worst part is that you do a take and then they all talk, but you can't hear anything. You have no idea if they're saying good stuff or bad stuff or indifferent. So they'll talk for 20 minutes, and literally sometimes 20 minutes, and you're just in there going, oh God, I don't know. Did they like it? Should I be trying something different? What's happening? And then they'll be, okay, that's fine. Let's move on. What was the 20 minutes about? Come on now. But yeah, they definitely give feedback.
Would you be interested in doing one of the big animations? I mean, the whole want to play a mouse in Disney and all that.
In a heartbeat, I would love. I mean, I grew up on Disney films. I loved them. Are you kidding? And I mean, and like any actor would love that kind of job. But I just think that would be, I would love it. I would love it.